evening, everybody, and welcome along to the very first season of XBGL, the first time PSGL have ever hosted an Xbox League. We have 20 drivers ready to do battle this season, and by the 4th of March, we will know who is the first Xbox GL F1 champion. It's going to take a while to get used to me calling it XBGL, but I'll probably get used to it by the end of the season. Hello everybody, my name is Jess, also known as Jess Games 95, and I will be your commentator for XBGL this season. And I'm alone, but we still got some great action to provide to you. Around 12 rounds of the calendar, which we'll go through actually right now. So we're starting tonight at Albert Park in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix, a track where it's hosted the opening round of the championship in real life for quite some time, except this year due to the whole COVID situation. The last time actually PSGL hosted the first round of the championship was, I believe, in season 23. So this is going to be the first time in the world where Australia hosts the opening round. I like Australia as the opening round, so I bet you it's going to provide some awesome things to see. We then head to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix next week, a lot of people's home Grand Prix. On the 17th of December for round 3, we head to Belgium. Then we have a few weeks Christmas break before we come back on the 7th of January in France for round 4, in Paul Ricard, obviously. On the 14th of January, we head to Monaco, which is kind of like a prestigious circuit, but I'll talk about that when we go to round 5. And we end the first half of the season in Italy on the 21st of January. We carry on in Europe to start the second half of the season in Russia on the 28th. We then head to Singapore on the 4th of Feb for round 8. Round 9 is at Austin, Texas for the United States Grand Prix on the 11th of February. We are in Mexico on the 18th of Feb for round 10. The penultimate round of the season is on the 25th of February in Abu Dhabi. It's usually the last race of the season in real life, but not in here in XBGL or PSGL for that matter. And the final race of the season is on the 4th of March in Japan, where it's hosted many title deciders in the past, and it'll probably be a great championship finale. So, a lot of unknowns going into tonight. We do know we have some really fast drivers here with loads of experiences in many Xbox leagues. Quite a lot of them are in the top tier in many leagues, but I'm not going to say who they are, obviously. Some of them either competed or even competing in the Challenger Series either last year or a few years ago, or even this time in 2021. So that they definitely mean business here. So without further ado, before we head to qualifying, let's go through the 20 drivers who we are going to be seeing throughout the whole 12 rounds of XBGL this season. So we're starting off in the Mercedes, and we have a very strong lineup in Mercedes. We have CRG Lutz. For those of you that don't know him, he was also known as Snazzy Evening back in the day. I've commentated on these two quite a lot in other leagues, and they're probably going to be a formidable force in XBGL. Another strong team in the Red Bull, we got BGG Smasher and VSR OT. I think that's how you say his name. Apologies if I get these names wrong. Some of these I've never commentated in my life, so I'm probably not going to get any of those names. So hopefully I will get it at some point. There will probably be a few drivers correcting me at some point. In the racing point, we have VRG Dominate and Got to Go Fast. Haven't seen them race before, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do in this league. I've got a few facts about all the drivers, which I'll actually go through throughout the qualifying session coming up in a second. The Renault drivers, we have Days Rhombus 915, I can barely read, I do apologise, and FRA Vivid. Vivid can't race tonight, so we have someone replacing him tonight, which I'll go through in a second as well. We have BGG Clone in the McLaren, as well as McCabe San. In the Ferrari, we have Shizu Nico and ERL Tebow. Now, Tebow I have commentated before. He was looking strong in some tracks, so he could be quite strong as well. In the AlphaTauri, we have BRL Perundi. I can't even, I'm rubbish. I'm sorry. I'm going to get these right, I promise. And AMS Placky. In the Alfa Romeo, now I know these two boys from the back of my hand. The only other Xbox League I commentate on is with these two drivers on. It's Hawk and Lefted. Quite a strong team, I reckon. So they could be a force that could challenge the top teams, I would say. In the Haas, we've got Cesala and Sparks F1. And then in the Williams, we have Shizu Felipe and Shizu Crisito. Folding a full Shizu lineup for Williams, actually. So should be interesting there as well. So we're heading into qualifying. But before we head to the amazing Albert Park, let's have a look at the track, the Albert Park circuit. So it is 5.4 kilometers long. It has 3 turns. 16 turns, 6 to the left, 10 to the right. There are 3 DRS straights. 1 at the start, finish straight, 1 between turn 2 and 3, and 1 between turn 12 and 13. Albert Park can be quite bumpy, with several spots on the track where the drivers require a refactive front end to allow them to chuck into a corner. One being the rapid 10, 11 and 12 chicane. So, are you guys ready for the first ever qualifying session of XPGL this evening? I know I am, and I know you guys are as well, so I'm going to switch over to this. I'm going to get my controller so I'm ready. I don't want to be unprepared for this league already, and somehow my controller's sort of unplugged. So if you just give me a second, I think it's all good now. Yep, it's all good. So I could still, there we go, trying to hide the UI. There we go. So are we ready? We're eventually ready. Here we are. We got a full 20 car grid here tonight. A lot of people are on their fly laps now because I was doing my preamble. Now, this circuit was first opened in 1996, and that was when the first Grand Prix was held in Melbourne. And so many battles happened in that year, but there was been some lap 1 incidents, such as Ralf Schumacher in 2002 and Martin Brundle in 1996. But luckily, Martin Brundle got away unscathed, I've got to say. But I think the safety in this sport has definitely improved, I think, since then. Especially what happened on Sunday. And I've got to say, all our thoughts in XPGL and obviously PSGL are with Romain Grosjean. It was great to see him in the paddock in Bahrain today. And all smiles, actually, which was quite nice. So, yeah, we're starting to see some times already with Felipe going on pole position right now. Sparks, F1, actually retired from the session. It looked like he binned it through the infamous turn 11 and 12, I've got to say. So, yeah, I think that's going to catch quite a few drivers here tonight. I'm just going to find someone who's on a lap that I can go on a hot lap with. Let's go on board. Yeah, let's go on board with Lefted, actually, as he starts his hot lap around here. So, pole times, I could expect to see the 118s. Maybe people pushing into the 117s, I've got to say. But I think 118 is what I was speaking to the drivers today, is what we could expect. So, here we go then. Here is a lap around the Albert Park circuit. So you're going to hit the brakes heading into turn 1 at the 100 metre board on the left-hand side of the track. Aim to cut the inside curb here. You should find yourself in around about 6th gear here. DRS wide open, heading towards the famous turn, heading into turn 3 now. And then heading into the kink towards turn 4. You should swing to the left-hand side as far as you can to open up the line. Once again, you need to swing across the track to prepare for the next corner. You're heading towards turn 6 and 7. Go to the right apex just a little bit there. Looking very, very good so far for Lefted. Purple set to 1 at the moment. Now heading towards turn 9 and 10. These two corners follow a similar format to turn 6 and 7. And now you're going to be, it's a really long straight here right now. You can get full power. Not quite the full power you can on the start finish straight. Purple set to 2 again on the entry to 11 brake immediately after the feet and meter board. You're just past turn 12 and heading into towards turn 13 and 14. It requires a tiny little dab on the brakes there a little bit, just around about 5th gear. Now heading in towards turn 15 and 16. Keeping the car in 3rd gear, I think, definitely does help around here to prevent difficulties with traction. So here he goes around the final corner, and what lap time is he going to set? It is a 1:19.0, so he must have lost time in the final set to that, because he was purple in set to 1 and purple in set to 2. So there we go. And unfortunately, the times at the bottom are not showing on my screen, so I have to keep an eye on the left-hand side of the screen as well to see what the pole time is. So at the moment, on pole position, LVA Brown in the Mercedes and Felipe in 2nd place. Felipe is currently on his outlap at the moment. And again, like I said, I've got a few facts about the drivers. I asked a few questions towards the end of last week once the driver placements were announced. Some of them didn't send their things to me, which is all right. They didn't have to send me their thoughts. Now, we'll talk about, I think we may as well talk about Felipe. He was in most of the leagues he's been in, as pretty much been all top tier. He's currently in 5 leagues, including obviously the Shizou Team League as well. He used to be in one other league as well, and he enjoys racing in Italy, so I think he's looking forward to round 5. So I'm going to keep an eye on round 5 actually. And his biggest achievement, winning Italy in the Shizou Team League. So, you know, Italy is... Oh, okay. Felipe's left the session. Okay, that's interesting. Hopefully someone can send up a backup invite. And Felipe has been aiming for victories. That's all he's aiming for mainly as well. And Smasher, who we're currently on board with now, he's currently racing in 2 leagues, 1 normal league and 1 team league, and he also used to race in one other league as well. He likes Austria. Unfortunately, Austria is not part of the calendar, but that's what he likes racing in. And he won his first ever league first ever race in a top tier league, started P15 and went on the alternate strategy. But we could see the alternate strategy here today, and Smasher did improve actually to P3. Now, if you were watching the PSGL Twitter, which you can find under PlayStation_GL, there was a few drivers where they were predicting they would do well. Smasher was one of them, and Felipe as well, Brown, CRG Lot as well. And I think we probably will see a few other drivers get up there towards the top. Now, who hasn't done a lap yet? I think BGG Clone is not on a lap right now. I've commentated on him quite a bit, actually. It's been ages since I've commentated on some of these drivers. And he's aiming for consistency. And as George Russell likes to say, consistency is key. So if he keeps up consistency, he can probably score high up the grid. So BGD Clone is about to start his out lap. Crescito is on a lap now. I called him Cristo, I remember, in one league last season, and I don't want to call it out, and apparently it's Crescito. So yeah, and he comes across the line. P5, not too bad for him. So I'm looking at the gaps right now. So the gaps between the top 5 pretty close, especially between the top 3 as well. 8/100ths of a second, but Smasher smashes literally the timing sheets in pole position at 1:18.6. Now, he's also a driver that is hoping in this league to improve on his racecraft, because there was a few times where he got involved in incidents which he admitted that it was his fault. So he wants to get involved in less incidents this season as well. So yeah, doing very well in P2 and 1, and then Brown smashes it again with a 1:18.5. So I think we're going to see times definitely changing right now, and with the track evolving every minute, you know, we can see, I think, a lot of people improve right now as well. So yeah, it should be interesting right now. Now Thibaut in 5th position, looking quite good as well. I do remember, I believe the race I commentated in winning, I believe, was either France or I think it might have been Canada actually, where he won around Canada, where he did a really good strategy. There was a safety car that pretty much changed everything, I've got to say. But you know, there is predictions from me especially that there is going to be a safety car. I think probably 1 or 2 safety cars. I remember commentating on the pre-season race in F2 for PSGL, and there was, I think, about 1 or 2 safety cars, and I think Big City could back up the fact that it was quite a crazy race, and it saw him getting a podium, but he didn't get a podium, much podiums, until obviously the last race in Brazil in last season where he actually won it. So yes, but there has been no pre-season races, so this is actually the first time where we get to see all these drivers in the flesh. So I did say one driver is not racing tonight, but a few drivers not racing tonight actually. But we got Big Abdullah, I think that's how you say it. He is filling in for, let me just double check again because I don't want to get the driver's name wrong. He is filling in for Vivid tonight, so hopefully he does Vivid proud. Has not set a lap at the moment, but he goes just past turn 10 and into turn 11 and heading into turn 12. That was a nice catch, I think, from the Renault driver, I've got to say, but he's doing quite well. He's running out of fuel though, so he'll probably have to go into the pits. He's probably going to get into a low fuel mode too towards the end of that. I love his helmet, by the way, and that is why I said that corner can catch people out, and he's just spun as well. So I think that was an full example of commentator's curse for the Renault driver. So he comes back into the pits. Nico, he's about to start his lap as well. Nico is hoping for good performances too. Again, it's hard to tell the pecking order for some people because a few people not raced in top tiers before. This is their first time for some of them because they raced with such high caliber of drivers, and even just racing them may help improve their racecraft. And I've seen in other leagues as well, even just in team events, just being around faster drivers does help you and you do get up there. We've seen that in PSGL and many times actually, where we've seen people in F1, they were lower down in a few seasons, and then we saw in other seasons where they shone really. So it just shows the improvement right now. So 5 minutes left to go, of course, and a few people going into the pits. I would say if everyone did their final lap, I would say around about the 3 minute mark, 2 minute 45, I think would be the best time. You can push it to go around, I would say, in 2 minutes, I've got to say. And Nico comes across the line now in the Ferrari. Ferrari not doing as well in real life, but how will they do in XBGL? A 1:19.4, which puts him in 14th. So just only a few tenths, they'll put you in 14th. That's just crazy right now. So pretty decent as well. Anyone else on a lap? Sam is as well. He has invalidated, so I may do an invalidation count, but I've got to say, looking at the calendar through this season, I think there are other tracks where I think invalidations are more common than Australia. I would say France is one of them. Japan, United States, Singapore, Russia. I think mainly the second half of the season, I would say a lot more invalidation. So the first half, quite lucky. And I spoke to a few of the drivers. They like the first half of the season more than the second half. Obviously, we got Great Britain next week. We got Belgium on the 17th. I like these two tracks as well. They provide so many good overtakes. Australia as well here tonight provides some good overtakes too. So I wonder if Nico is going to be going again in the Ferrari, which he probably will do. So we'll keep an eye on the times as they come, of course, as everyone is probably going to go into the pits now, which Nico does. Perondi, I think, if I say that right, I'll be really happy. He's on his outlap and is about to start his flyer. Now, he's going to have the benefit of cleaner air, but he's probably done the wrong thing going out now, because it will be the calm before the storm in about a minute's time. When everyone goes out, the track will be at its most grippiest. But if he will have time to go for one more run, so if he's put enough fuel in, it should be fine. But we don't know what the weather is. We've seen quite a few people on the mediums, but not a lot. And you saw the strategy on the slideshow, and when I was doing my preamble earlier on, and Perondi is not looking good with his lap, so I'm guessing he's going to go again. So he's the only one on the lap, and we got the his teammate Blackie just going out. We got a Williams car, we got a McLaren, or is it a Renault? Everyone's starting to come out now as well, so they are starting to read my mind, I've got to say. So yeah, they like reading my mind, I've got to say. Now, people outside the top 10 will obviously start on the tyres. They can have free choice of tyres, and the people inside the top 10 will have to start their tyre that they set the fastest lap on, which will be the sauce for most cases. Now, whilst everybody else is on their outlap, it gives me a great opportunity to talk about the point system. Now, the point system were exactly the same as PSGL has for many seasons now. So it hasn't changed if you are a PSGL regular. So first place gets 16 points, second place gets 12 points, third place gets 10 points, fourth place gets 8 points, fifth place gets 6 points, sixth place gets 5 points, seventh place gets 4, then 3, 2, and then down to 1 for 10th place, and all the others get 0 points. Has also the point for the fastest lap as well. And if you win first, second, or third in the championship in XBGL, you do get some money. So that adds an extra motivation, I've got to say. And that's provided by our sponsors, Brutal Democracy, who are sponsoring all the leagues in PSGL and XBGL. So I'd like to say, on my behalf, thank you to them for your continued support for another season. And there's not as much prizes as PSGL F1, but still quite a hefty set of money. So first place gets £100. So the first place in the championship, that is. Second place gets £30 and third place will get £20. And they're also providing prizes to the top 3 of PSGL F1 and the winner of PSGL F2. So, you know, some people don't do this for the money, but I know some people would want to win anyway, and some people would, you know, don't really care. So it's just a mix of motivation. I race for the fun of it, but I know these guys, some of these guys do race in the Challenger Series. I do believe Lut is racing in the Challenger Series this season. And best of luck to them. I think Brown is as well. I'm not entirely sure. Tebow as well. Otis as well. And Dominic, I think, is racing in the Challenger Series. I'm not quite sure. I should know because I'm part of ESR. So I do apologise if I get the names wrong if they're in the Challenger Series or not. But people on their final laps then, calm before the storm. So the last person to would be to cross the line would be, I think, the Alfa Romeo driver. So it'll be Hawk, because Lefty has retired from the session because he's not happy whatsoever. I can see quite a few people having a few understeer moments. It may be due down to the setup. I wonder if we'll see a wet race. That might be the case, as Oatsies has retired as well. So he either crashed. He has crashed actually, turn 11. I wonder if I could go on board with his teammate to see if I can actually catch his crash. Oh, that's a bit hefty, I think, from Oatsies, but there we go. So we're gonna let's go on board with the Ferrari, because he's the first person to cross the line. Here we go. So we got nope, Nico has invalidated. So yeah, let's go back on board with Smasher. P2 at the moment, invalidated. So he's not gonna set a lap time. Sliding everywhere as well. Next would be the Williams, which I think is, I'm trying to find, it's got to go fast, I think. No, it's not. It's the other Shazoo guy, which I'm trying to find, but he's retired anyway. Got to go fast, comes across the line in P19. And then we have the other Racing Point driver as well. He comes across the line in P14. The times are close, though. Pretty good, actually, from the Xbox drivers. I wonder if Brown is going to get any faster right now as well. Clone comes across the line into towards turn 11 and 12. Mercedes driver of Brown goes fastest with a 118. Lut actually goes quicker than Smasher, actually. I got a bit confused. I'm sorry. Let me just check the lap time. Was a 118.6. So pretty good. So favourite for the constructors. And Brown goes into the pits. Clone going into the pits as well. And then I think we will have Felipe who goes into the pits. So that is it. So that is it for qualifying. So LVA Brown is on pole position, and for those of you that don't know Brown, he was known as P1R Brown as well. As I remember, he actually won a race in Monaco in one of the leagues, and you know, it was great to watch. I didn't commentate it sadly, but you know, he's a street track merchant. He's looking forward to that, and he's starting the league right with a pole position. So fair play to him. And it's a Mercedes 1-2, just like in real life, eh? You know, I wonder, we may not get that in real life this weekend, because obviously we've got George Russell filling in for Lewis Hamilton this weekend due to Lewis Hamilton tested positive for COVID-19. But my heart does hope that George Russell gets on the front row of the grid this weekend, but you never know. Who are we waiting for, actually? I don't know who we're waiting for. I think we're waiting for one of the Renault drivers to retire in the pit lane. And then we can actually get started with qualifying. This is getting very, very exciting. I actually can't wait for this. So, yeah, so indeed. So I think the Mercedes boys will be really, really happy with their performance. So let's get cracking with the qualifying results with Brown, the Jamaican flag, with a 118.5, is on pole by only 7/100ths of a second between himself and Lutz. I wonder if they'll be helping each other in the race. No slipstreaming is allowed in XBGL, I don't think, unless Connor can correct me. And Smasher in third, Clone in fourth, Sam doing well in fifth position, Felipe in sixth, Tebow in seventh, Hawk in eighth, Placky in ninth, and the reserve driver of Abdullah doing well in 10th place. They get to start on the soft. So one's on free choice of tyres. Go for the alternate strategy. Got to go fast in 11. Crescito, Lefted, Dominic, Perondi, Joker, Dave Wombus and Eco, Oteet and Sparks. Sparks was the only driver not to set a lap time. So, before we go to the strategy screen again, it's quite sunny in the commentary box, so looks like we're going to have a dry race unless it has changeable conditions. So, according to our data, we are expecting to see the softs being used for majority of the drivers. So, either soft or hards if they feel like that they can't go to around about lap 9. So they will pit around about lap 6 to 7 and go on to the hards then. Or there might be some gamblers going for the soft to medium strategy, which they would pit round about laps 9 to 11, and then they will last 18 to 20 laps. Now the delta around this track is around about a second between the softs and the mediums, so it's quite a big delta compared to other tracks where they're 6, 8 tenths maybe. And between the mediums and the hards, it's 5 tenths of a second. So it's 1.5 seconds overall between the soft and the hards. And the pit loss around here, 22 seconds. So if you get damage on lap 1, it's going to cost you. It really is going to cost you. You may have a danger of actually getting lapped. So we are waiting for all the drivers to ready up, and I believe we are, so I'm just gonna get all the information up for you before I get it up on my screen again. There we go. So not really surprised that everybody has gone for the gamble strategy. Every single person outside the top 10 has gone for the mediums, so they're gonna go 18 to 20 laps on these mediums if they want to go on the softs. They're gonna be on much faster tires at the end. We've seen it being very powerful in the PS4 leagues. I wonder if we're going to see exactly the same in XPGL. For those of you that just joined us, welcome to the first ever season of XPGL. We're at round number 1 at Albert Park in Australia. And just a quick reminder of what's at stake for the drivers this season. The top 3 get cash prizes as provided by our sponsors, Brutal Democracy. First place gets £100, second place gets £30, third place gets £20. So, no points for constructors though, just the drivers. But the way Mercedes are on form here tonight in qualifying, they're probably hoping that it happens in the constructors too. Maybe next season. Nice to see a lot of you in the chat as well. Let us know your predictions on who you think's going to win the race. I don't usually get predictions, but since it is the first season, I'm going to get my money on. I'm going to say, I think Lut is going to win today. I think Lut is going to have the overall pace on his teammate because he's going to have the benefit of the DRS. So I think Lut's going to get first, Brown second, and Smasher third. I hope Smasher doesn't get involved in any instance, but it's a clean slate for all these drivers, so, you know, I think he could be alright tonight. But I think the surprise, will probably be, I would say, Hawk maybe. Felipe could be up there in shot of a podium as well. We've seen how quick he is on the F1 games in F1 2020. A lot of you guys do not know these drivers. I do know most of them, so interesting to see. We're about to get started for the first ever round. Who's hyped, guys? Get your excitement in the chat. And are we starting? I don't even know. Oh, there we go. It took a while for the holds to happen, but we're about to go racing here in Australia. Are the 5 red lights coming? Come on, game. Come on. Anytime today, please. There we go. I thought that we were going to get a lobby restart, but there we go. It's the first round of XPGL starts right now, and it's a decent start from both of the Mercedes drivers, especially Brown, as they make it towards turn 1 as well. Lut getting a good start too into turn 1. He beat his teammate, but we already got contact already in turn 1. Quite a few people have dropped position. A little bit of carbon fibre there as they make it towards the windy turn 3 now, heading towards the turn 4. The Haas cars getting involved in a bit of a battle too. And One, the Red Bulls not having a good start either. Nico dropping it down into 18th position, so not very good too. And we already got a safety car on our mitts. I did say we did get a safety car. We did predict a safety car. But I was not predicting a safety car to come this early. I thought it would come maybe around about lap 7, but no. Lap 1. The first round in XPGL, safety car, lap 1. But we are making history, you know. Every thing that happens at XPGL will be written in the record book. So, you know, have to say. So, I wonder what the soft ones will be doing. Will they be going on the mediums to try and match the ones on the alternate strategy? Or will they stay on the softs? I think some people would stay on the softs, in my opinion. But some could go on the mediums. But not many people, though. I have to say, though, got to go fast on the alternate strategy. He had an almighty start all the way up into P7. Really, really good from him and very, very impressed. I'll have to see how many positions he's gained. He's gained 4 positions. So well done to him. So quite a few people in the pit lane. More than I thought. So Brown going on the hard. Smasher. Let me just get the tyres up for you so you can see. Smasher on the hard, a bit of a double stacking actually, so quite a few people getting hold up. So yeah, more people than I thought. I was thinking, nah, only a few people are going to go to pit for. No, most people would. So the only people not pitting is CRG Lutz because he didn't want to get held in a Mercedes double stack with his teammates. But then we have Thibaut in second, who's not pitted either, and Big Abdullah from the softs. The ones on the mediums are not pitted. I've got to go fast. Lefted, Perondi, Otis, and Spark, sorry. But quite a few people, I think, may have pitted at the back, so I think due to front wing damage. I've usually safety cars are caused by retirement, so I'm surprised that there is no retirements. So I think the safety car will probably go in next lap, not this lap, I think. I've never seen a safety car this chaotic on Xbox. I think, as Connor says, I think I've got to agree with Connor in the chat there. It's never this chaos, I'd say, in lap 1 in Australia. But, you know, it's the first time these drivers are racing. New league as well. Maybe that might be the case. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe just the eagerness of getting positions in lap 1. But it's not over in lap 1. You know, there's 29 other laps around here. So, you know, some people may have forgotten about that. But at least they can get a much better restart in the next few laps or so. So, yep, it has been confirmed that the safety car is coming in for another lap. Staying in for another lap, I have to say. So the ones that I'm not going to get the position changes because it's not going to affect much because obviously people have pitted. So looking at how long the hards last around this circuit, they do last 23 laps. So all the hard runners, they will have to pit again for the soft tyres. So they might be at a disadvantage, but they may try and pull the undercut. And they may try and hope for another safety car towards the end that can bring them back in it. But you never know. Don't rule them out. Don't rule them out, you see. We'll have to wait and see. I think the ones that are a huge disadvantage is Lut and Thibaut. They could have pitted, but I think Lut would have lost more time if he pitted, due to his teammate pitting as well. Thibaut, I think Thibaut, I would think, could have pitted because Nico, his teammate, was already down in towards the back anyway. So I'm a bit shocked why Thibaut didn't pit. Obviously got to go fast. I'm guessing he wanted to stay on the mediums. He'll be on a similar strategy to those on the hards, but he would pit probably earlier. Same with lefted, Peroni and Otis, I think. But, you know. And the reserve driver, Big Abdullah, I'm surprised he is not pitted. So the soft runners, they're still running. They've got a disadvantage when they pit. But right now, they're going to have the chance to pull away. But yeah. Safety car in this lap. The notification coming in a lot earlier than I thought, actually. I thought it would come towards, I think, turn 12 and 13, but obviously not. So anyway, Lutz will lead the field away in his Mercedes. So we've got a Mercedes, a Ferrari, a Racing Point. Oh, Thibaut, almost hit into the back of someone there. That was close. Everyone's actually getting heat into their tyres. And if you're on the hard compounded tyres, you especially want to get heat in because otherwise your tyres are going to be so cold. So the ones that are not weaving or anything, we got to watch out for them. So Lutter's got to get a good restart, and these guys have been warned by the stewards that if they start, well, basically they've got to, as soon as he decides to go fast, he's got to keep that pace. He can't slow down when he gets that restart sorted. That is very, very important, and safety car penalties will be considered as well. But here we go, back racing. I think Thibaut has had a really good restart as well. It's right on the back of Lut. And we're going to go green racing now, because obviously you can't overtake in the safety car line. Big Abdullah was trying to get past, I think I would say, got to go fast as well. But you can see the top two really pulling away from the rest of the field on these soft tyres, though. Got to go fast, though. Pulling just a little bit of a gap on Abdullah. I think a lot cleaner, I think, from some of these guys in this safety car restart. So they've learned from their mistakes. And not much changing on positions. The majority of them have stayed where they are too as well. So we'll keep an eye on the deltas to see if there's any battles happening as well. OT's looking quite good on the back of Peroni. AlphaTauri versus Red Bull. You know, sister team versus sister team. Here we go then. We've got actually the Haas driver of Spas going for a move towards turn 9 and 10. Brilliant stuff as well. Don't forget he started at the back of the grid due to him not setting a lap time, due to him binning it earlier on in towards 10, 11 and 12. So, well executed move from him. Very, very brave, I've got to say as well. But OTs will have the DRS as well as spots in the Haas car as well. The closest battle we are seeing on track. Only one penalty we are seeing on track right now, and that is Hawk. He gets a 3-second time penalty. Now, we as commentators and themselves as drivers get to see penalties actually. The drivers only get to see the drivers around them. We get to see every single one of the drivers. Now, I won't see how much they got until I get the penalties up. But we are going to keep an eye on those. So Joker, he must have got damage, I think, in the safety car restart. So he's going into the pit. So let's keep an eye on that pit stop actually. Or did he get damage? Yes, it's front wing damage for the Haas car. So one Haas car doing very well. One Haas car, unfortunately, not doing very well. So, Joker at the back of the grid, and he'll be going on to the hards. And I do believe, according to my maths, the hards could potentially make it to the end there. Now, I can't pronounce Sparks' name. I do apologize. It does sound like COG Sparks, Dan. It does. So, yeah. That's why if some of you get a bit confused, but yeah, don't. I wish he'd probably change names so I don't get confused between the two. So yeah, just change something different. Has Sparks. But yeah. Anyway, we're on lap 5 now. We've got a move at the back as well with Nico and Sam. Nico getting the move into turn 13 as well. Quite a hard place to overtake as well because we see quite a few risks there and a few spinneroonies, I think, there as well. A few people going in to the wall there as well. So, you know, but not many people going into the wall yet from the top guys as well. So, great to see. Thibaut just still stuck on Lut, and that's the effect on the DRS train, but Lut has no DRS, Thibaut does. So, I wonder what his lap time is. I might look at Race Director soon to see that, to potentially see the consistency, but it looks like Lut is shows consistent lap time. So for the first time in a while, my predictions are coming true. So hopefully I won't commentators curse him, I've got to say. But at the moment he's doing so well. Got to go fast. He's doing his best to hold on to the pushing soft runner. So maybe got to go fast. He's done well staying out on the mediums. He's going for the alternate strategy. This could pay off for the Racing Point team as well. As we like to call in life the pink Mercedes. We saw Stroll in real life take his first pole position. Perez getting their first podium in the car in the Turkish Grand Prix. as well. We can see quite a big train, I think, from P4 all the way down to, I would say, P9. And then we've got Smasher just out of DRS range of Brown. So he's got to find, I think, a tenth of a second to Brown in order to gain advantage. Because otherwise he's going to have Clone right on the back of him on those hard compounded tyres. And we do have a yellow flag as someone, I think, binned it. That's, I think, Abdullah, who spun it in turn 2. So that's unfortunate for him. So I think, does he have damage there? Looks like he's got a bit, but he's got away with it a little bit. So he may go into the pits, but he will have to pit, I think, a lot earlier than every other soft runner. So if I was him, potentially try and do the softer hard strategy. The softer hard strategy will make it. I know he was aiming for softer mediums, but that's probably not going to work out. Meanwhile, we're going, oh my god, we're almost potentially going 3 wide, heading in towards turn 9 and 10. And luckily, one of them had to concede there, and that was Days Rhombus in the Renault. He did lose a bit of time there as well, so that is down, I think, to Crescito, Sam and Dominic as well. You can see the cars in front as well, gaining for dear life. And the dirty air, what I found on this game, the dirty air just hinders you on this game. It's just so much difficult to follow a car. So that is why there's not been much overtakes at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate, but that is something I hope the cars next season in 2021 allow the cars to follow each other more easily so they can get some good overtakes done and have some nice battling. Who knows, we may see some battling on the oval layout in Bahrain pretty soon as well. So that could be a good potential as well. Now, Oatseeds, he's got a charging Brown right behind him on the hard. We could potentially see the crossover point really, really soon. I would say around lap... I'm just looking at when the mediums guys will be pitting, and that would be... Let me just have a look at my strategies. Around lap 18 to 20. So I would say lap 16 is when the hards would definitely be at full force right now. So that will be, I think, that. Or maybe slightly earlier as well. It does depend on when they pitted. Obviously, they pitted after lap 1 due to the safety car. So most of these guys weren't on the soft tyres for quite a long time. So that's changed a lot of people's strategies, their gut feeling. They got to go with their gut instinct and try for the undercut. They've got to. They can't wait for someone else to just pit and then thinking that they get ahead of them. If they see that they pit, then probably they realise they've done something wrong around this track. And I've got to say, looking at time penalties, yep, Hawk is the only one that still gets a time penalty. Was this his only penalty that he's got? No, he got another one earlier on, so he's into 6 seconds. Meanwhile, Oat's going to look for a move into turn 3 and 4. It's going to be really, really tough for the Red Bull driver, but he just about gets him. Well done to him, like Sparks got past him earlier on in the race. But Oates got the revenge there. Oatsy's got the revenge there, and he's up into P6. So his next victim is Perondi in the sister car in the AlphaTauri, which they were fighting earlier on. And Placky has got the second driver to get a time penalty. That's now 3 seconds for him. And that means if you do get penalties around here, especially if there's more safety cars, which may be likely around here, you know, you wouldn't want that to be the case because you can drop down into the points. Don't forget the top 10 score points. Not following the real life F1 point system. First place gets 16 points. Second place gets 12. Third place gets 10 points. Fourth gets 8. Then it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, then 1 point. So that makes the championship a lot closer. And Tebow is going for the undercut on the soft runners. So the one of the soft runners, which is Lut. So Tebow, he's on the hard tyres. I am quite shocked about that, actually. You could go on the mediums, I believe. If I just get my data up again. You could actually go on mediums, but I'm guessing he didn't want to risk it. He wanted to go to the end of the race. So, yeah, I'm quite shocked about that. Could this come back to bite him? But, yeah. If you pit now, you would go on the mediums. But it may be different on PS4 compared to Xbox. You know, the mediums may not last as long on the Xbox compared to PS4, so it may be different. We don't know. So Lut has got to be thinking a lot of things on his mind right now. He's got to pit. He's got to. If he doesn't, he's going to lose so much time. The overcut, I don't think, would work here. So Lut's got to pit. Everyone else could get away with staying out because they're on the mediums, but Lut has got to. The mediums are the faster tyre out of the ones that have stayed out for the whole race. So is Lut going to pit? Nope, he's doing the opposite of what I said, and he's staying out. So, yeah. But maybe there's a method behind his madness. Maybe he's seeing something that we're not. Maybe a change in conditions later on in the race. Potentially. I have not been told on the Discord about the weather, and I'm not going to look at it. I'm not looking at the Discord about the weather. It's going to be a surprise. We've also had Nico in the pits as well, on to the mediums. It may be a scheduled stop, or it may be damage. And we do have another ding-dong battle between Sparks and OTs as well, for 5th place again. This might be a ding-dong battle, which happens for the majority of the race. So one of them will have to blink first in the pit stops, and I think Peroni will do the same too. But I think if I was Sparks, I would pit before these guys, because you're right on the back of that train, and you can see Brown catching up to that train as well. You can see the hards are almost at the same delta as the mediums, so that's why he's gained quicker time. He was the fastest Xbox driver here tonight, and he wants to keep it that way. He wants to win, and potentially he wants to try and get those hards to the end, but it may not be possible. It's not impossible, but we could see puncher territory. We'll see. Or will they go on the softs? That's what I like about unpredictability in this league. And Lut, after a few extra laps on the softs, he comes in on to the medium tyres. Now the question is, where does that leave him ahead of Tebow? So Tebow does have a penalty though. And I think, oh, it's going to be close across the line into turn 1. But Tebow just about gets ahead of him. The undercut has worked for Tebow. The overcut did not work, but Lut has got an advantage here. Lut is on the fresher tyre. He's on the mediums. He waited for a few extra laps to make sure the mediums could definitely get to the end of the race, which I think is a clever strat for him. Will this work for him though? Because some of these guys may opt to stay until the end, but some of the other guys may opt to go on the soft tyres, which are incredibly faster towards the end there. So you never know with Lut. So let's see later on in the race how Lut catches up to Tebow. So I wonder how that battle unfolds. We're seeing people start to get away from their DRS trains now. So they are trying to get back to them, one of which is Clone, who's out of DRS range of Smasher. But Smasher is within touching distance of Brown. I'm really, really excited to see this unfold as well. This championship is going to go right down to the wire, I can tell you that. I remember watching the PSGL F1 season finale last season in Brazil. It literally went down to the final lap and it was even on point. Will we see it go down to Japan? I hope so. I really do hope so, because Japan, like I said earlier, is always a good race for title deciders. So, you know, and the drivers are impressing me. I would say the top 10, I would say, are very, very impressing me with their skill right now. Keeping it clean right now as well. But some people are not able to get past due to the dirty air. Watch out for the top 5 though. They'll be pitting in a few laps time as well. Peroni though, one of the few Brazilians in this league. And it's nice to see a good diverse league with different nationalities as well. And some people may think, no, you shouldn't race in European leagues. He's Brazilian, for goodness sake. But his actual connection is actually pretty good. So it just goes to show Brazilians can race in European leagues. They can, without a problem. Obviously, we've seen that with Sira for the Shazoo Team League as well, and another Xbox lead. For those of you that don't know him, he's the pad goat, I've got to say. And he still is. Who knows, he may join XBGL when his life is less busy, as do some of the other drivers. I think I would like to see, I think a few other drivers have not signed up for this due to the Challenger Series, as Sam has retired, not Smasher, McCabe Sam has retired, and I think he's retired in the pit lane. He wasn't happy with his performance. I keep saying I've got to say, I do apologise. So, Sam, unfortunately, marks the first retirement of XBGL Season 1. Not a good record to have. So, yeah. So that's down to 19 drivers, and it's nice to see that the remaining 19 are still going. So, I hope we keep it that way. Bigger Doula, though, is still going. And it just goes to show you do not give up. And Nico has left the session. Nico has been having internet problems, I think, throughout the race. So hopefully he can join that. But look at Placky, though, right on the back of Dominic. You know, Placky has been looking more feisty than ever now. He's been the one in some leagues where he's just there. But when other people make mistakes... he's the one that capitalises on them, and he's just hoping for some good, consistent results, just like the other drivers in this league. He's able to fight for points, and of course to have some great battles on track, and he's having some good battles, I've got to say. And this is actually his first top league, I've got to say, and doing quite well. And he's saying he's beyond my expectations, as do most of these guys right now as well. Meanwhile, Lut has got past Tebow into turn 4, but Tebow's looking good in the exit of turn 5, now heading towards turn 6 then. No DRS, but he's going at great straight line speed here. He can try for the lunge. Oh, a bit late on the brakes there for Tebow. He's got his teammate behind him, but it's 18.1 seconds, mind. And also we got Crescito and Placky with a battle. There's just so many other battles on the track that it's hard to keep up, but not enough people are quite close to actually get the move. But we'll see if Sparks gets past Otis for position. But let's watch Tebow and Lot. Tebow's running out of airs now. Around here, ERS is a godsend. If you use too much in the early part of the race, it's hard to recharge. I found that in my team. I've used too much in the opening laps, and boom, towards the end, I have less to use that. So, Lefted, is the first of the medium runners, has been on for most of the race, has gone into the pit lane. So he's going on to the soft tyres. So that will come until the end of the race. A lot earlier than I was expecting, actually, for the softs. So it's going to be a bit of a gamble to see if we make it to the end. 12 laps they are expected for those softs to last. Optimum pace would be 11 laps. So Lefted has got an uphill... Oh, he's got an uphill task on his hand, really. It's either going to be points, I think, for the Alfa Romeo driver, or curtains, I think. I'm sorry for being harsh for the Alfa Romeo driver, but yeah, I think it is. But let's just hope. We'll see what the other drivers do. Will they respond to Lefted? Some of them won't. Some of them would want to get their softs to the end. So I would say lap 18 would be the first opportunity for these guys. We're seeing more of a DRS train form now between first and third on track. They're not the net race leader, though. The net race leader is Brown in first position. Smasher in the net second. And Clone doing very well on the hard tyres in third. Meanwhile, Sparks goes into the pit lane on the mediums as well. So he's following suit to Lefted. I'm guessing he's responding to Lefted because he's his rival. So here he comes then. And no damage to yet. It's on the soft tyre. So we're going to watch out for these two drivers in particular. They're going to be praying for the safety car restart. No, the safety car, actually. And I've got to say, a few of the people in chat are predicting Lut and Tebow to be ahead of these guys. Which I think they could catch up to them. Lutt is already on the back of the last of the hard runners, so this could be crunch time for Lutt. He's got to get past these cars, but Cressito trying to get the move there, but Lutt, wow! What a move for Lutt. He just absolutely sent it into turn 10, and wow. Well, 9, sorry, 9 and 10, but incredible. Absolutely incredible. So Lutt is now in 10th place. He's on a charge. He wants to win this race. I predicted this man to win this race, and it's not over yet for Lutt. He can still win this race, and I think by the way that Lutt is going, he can make it. And so Callum has actually asked in the chat if Haas can make it for the whole race. Haas can make it 23 laps, but don't forget these guys were under safety car conditions. So it's a bit of a hit and miss, I would say. I don't know. I really don't know, is my honest answer. And full race trim, 23 laps. But I think on the full safety car, 26. So it's going to be close for the hard runners. So it's either going to be them getting points for them or curtains. And if the hard runners falter, it could be a win for Lutt. But Lutt's already gaining anyway, so you could possibly get the win anyway. So we'll see the gap between the leader of his teammate Brown and Lutt, actually. So the gap between him and Lutt, only 6 seconds. Only 6 seconds, so yeah, he could win. He could win. He's well on the back of Dominic now in the racing point. Dominic gets in doing well to get his first point as well. Obviously, everyone in the top 10 will get their first point. Cressito getting penalties. We are starting to see more penalties towards the end of the race as Felipe has got passed by Hawk, but can Felipe come at him towards 15 and 16? Getting the switch back, a little bit of a touch, I've got to say, from these drivers, but Felipe is going to get the DRS. Felipe is not used to be this high down right now, but he's going to make the most out of every opportunity. And here he goes, and I think Hawk got the better entry there heading in towards turn 2. Has Sparks is out. Sparks is out of the race. Now, where did Sparks retire? Did he retire in the pit lane? Or did he actually retire towards turn 1? Let me see. Let me go on board with his teammate. Nope, he was the pit lane. So he must have got damaged with the battle that he was having. So yeah, that makes it 2 retirements. I'm surprised there was no safety car. But that was probably due to him in the pit lane. So that's probably going to give a few of the drivers a little bit of more hope as well. Especially Lutt. He's got passed by Dominic. He passed Dominic, I would say, up to P6. 6.6 is the gap between himself and the leader. And between him and Felipe, 3.2 for Felipe. Felipe could still set the podium in his sights. Hawk ahead of him has got 6 seconds worth of penalties, but I want to believe if he's got more than that. 9. Wow. He hasn't got the most though. Big Abdullah has retired, and we got a safety car. That is good timing for the likes of Lutt, for the likes of Hawk as well, who has gone into the pit lane. He just went into the pit lane before the safety car came out, and then boom, safety car. Hawk has been the one that has benefited from that situation. So the reserve driver has retired. I think that was I don't know where he retired actually. I think it was probably turn 11, the infamous turn 11. So let me get the penalty down my screen. So that's come at a bad timing for the top 5, but a good timing for the likes of Lefty who just pitted. So we could see a different race winner. Oh my God, the race has turned on its head, folks. We don't know who's going to win, but Lutt is going to be on the fresher tyres, as well as Cressito and Placky. They could come back into this. Thibaut, though, has probably regretted going on those mediums quite early on. He's been on the... I think he did pit, actually, which I'm not sure if it was damage. I think I'm the only commentator, so I am going to check race director. So I'm going to check pit stops to see. So quite a lot of you front wing changes on lap 1. Nico, Felipe, Sam, Joker, Dominic, Crescito. But let's look at the damage. No. So everyone that... So Tebow had front wing damage on lap 17. But everybody else that pitted had no damage. So they wanted to get onto the softer tyre. So if I was the hard runners, that's giving the hard runners a lifeline. But they're going to be a huge disadvantage now. They are praying not for the safety car to come, and it come. So they're going to be like, oh, God damn it. So good to see quite a few more people come in the chat. We've got Alimonda there as well, here to witness the historic moment. And there you go, we've got a safety car. This is the second safety car in XBGL, so this is 2. I did predict 2 safety cars, and there we go, we've got 2. I think I may start predicting more in PSGL F2, so drivers in PSGL F2 and Dan, watch out, guys, because I'm going to be predicting more. So, yeah. And, wow, the hard runners are not pitting. Okay. So, yes, I am shocked that they're not pitting because the soft runners, the delta is going to be around about a second between the softs and the hards. Lefted, got to go fast, Otis, Hawk, Peroni, Lut, Crescito. They're going to be doing all they can to try and get past these top 5. It's not going to be easy said than done though due to the dirty air, but you never know. We're going to watch Lefted to see if he can do it. But Lefty's got no penalties. I wonder how many people are on close enough to a warning, getting a penalty. I think a few people are on their final warnings actually. So they've got to be careful not to get on their final warnings on the safety car restart, because otherwise that's it. And is the safety car coming in this lap? Did I see? I didn't see it pop up, but you might have seen it, but I wasn't paying attention. So I do apologise. But anyway, Brown is leading the field away. And the first safety car, we saw his teammate leading it. This time, it's him. I think with the safety car restart, the hards should just about make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Only just, though. Only just. I wonder how many people are running pad on Xbox. We'll have to wait and see. But don't forget also, a lot of other things taken into consideration. But look at that almighty restart from Brown. He really wanted to get that restart as quick as he possibly can as well. And we go green flag racing. Once again, we're on lap 22 of 29. Lefted now. This is very important. He's got a penalty. Oti's got a penalty as well. But here comes Lefted. Right, he's going to go to the left-hand side. Dominic is covering, I think, to the right, the left. Sorry, getting my life some right to left mixed up. But meanwhile, got to go fast. He's been dropped by a few positions. Dominic was ghosted as well, I think. Or did he leave? I don't know. Or he might have had a bit of a spin now. I'm not sure. But there we go. So Hawk up to 8th. Left, Oti's got a few penalties as well as got to go fast. Here we go then, Hawk. He gets the move on, got to go fast. It didn't look easy though for the Alfa Romeo driver, but there he goes. Oh, a bit of damage there from the background. Who's that from? That was contact from, I think, Dominic and Peroni. So that is Peroni out of the session, out of the race, sadly. And Dominic hits the wall with frustration. He is not happy with that whatsoever. And he's either going to go into the pits for soft tyres, or he's going to retire. Which is a shame, because he was running so well up to that point. But, you know, he went for risks. There's a danger of people going for too many risks at that safety car restart. But obviously, you live and learn. The more race you are in this league. And here we go then. We see Lefted getting the move. Wow, on Felipe on those hard tyres. You can see the hards are faster as well. But Felipe could be coming back. A bit of touching. Be careful, boys. Oh, my God. There could be 3 wide here. Tebow's retired. What's happened to Tebow? pit lane? I don't know. He might have got involved in an incident as well, but Otis got past Felipe there. What a move from him. But he's on the soft tyre, so he still could be on course to getting a penalty? A podium. He's already got a penalty, so there we go. We've seen quite a few incidents, I think, in XPGL. Quite a lot more than I thought, but, you know, it's to be expected. And, you know, I think the steward's office, I think, is going to be very busy tonight. I can tell you that. So I wouldn't want to be the stewards right now, I've got to say. But obviously, we'll keep an update on the stewards' reports, and I will tell you all about those next Thursday. I was going to say next Monday, but next Monday's PSGL. But I only said that because I usually commentate on PSGL, so which is on a Monday, so that's why. But anyway, DRS enabled then. A lot of people were doing all they can the last lap to save their ERS. So Lefted was using up quite a lot on that safety car restart. He wanted to get past quite a lot of cars. And according to Mark, the Discord steward's office is getting video already. I'm like, oh God, it is getting a lot busy. So, yeah, good luck, guys. But anyway, has any of your predictions changed since the start of the race? And I don't think Lut's going to win, because even though Felipe's on the hard, it's going to be hard for Lut to pass. And I know he's a clean racer. He's only going to go for moves as he sees fit. But saying that, here comes Lut. There he goes. Up into P7. Looked quite easy there for Lut. Obviously, Felipe on much worn tyres, quite struggling at the moment. He's got his teammate right behind him as well. Got to go fast too. The train is starting to form, folks. And we got Lefted as well, I think as well, between Lefted and Clone. Clone goes for the switchback. Is he going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit? He does not. And I think Otis can just sit right back, I think, between these lot. And say, you know what, if I don't go for the move, if you guys don't go for the move, I can. So here comes Otis, looking very, very strong. Clone covers him off. And I think that's why Otis had to concede there. But really good defending from BDG Clone on those hard tyres. I've got to say, Clone, driver of the day so far with his defending. Oh my goodness. They are going so aggressive there. Otis, oh, a bit of a swerve from Hawk there in P6. But Otis doing ever so well to try and get P4 from Clone. But they're doing all they can to try and get that position. It's like that it's the final race of the season. It's like we're at Japan or something. And we've got 11 rounds to go after this one. But there we go then. So Brown managing to hold on to Smasher by 8/10. We haven't talked much about the top two, but they're running away with it. And I've been saying quite a few times that it's getting very, very tense between those two. They are probably, I think, a bit worried about whether they're going to make it until the end of this Grand Prix. I'm a bit worried as well, because it's either going to be a podium for them or curtains for them. I'm sorry if I have to say this, but it is. But, you know, sometimes I say positive jinx and it gives them commentators cards. If I say negative jinxes, it gets them to do well. So hopefully that does there as well. So quite a few predictions actually as well in the chat. So great to see your predictions. And don't forget, next week we head to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Looking forward to that one. We still got some more action though in XBGL. As we got Placky then getting the move past Got to Go Fast. And there he goes up into 11th. He's one more point away from getting his first point. Now let's get a rundown of penalties then. So, whoa, there's quite a lot. Lefted on 3, Otis on 3, Hawk on 12 seconds, Felipe on 3, Crescito on 6, Joker on 12, Placky on 6, Got to Go Fast on a 5-second penalty, which might get removed, I'm not entirely sure. And here we go, there's enough about penalties. Lut gets past Hawk. Lut having a really good drive, I think. The race is still not over for him to get the win. I think out of these cars in the top 7, I've got to say Lut is the cleanest driver. He has been racing from ever since I can remember, and he's never been, I think there's rarely been some races where he's been dirty. He's been so clean this race already, and I've just got to say, the moves he's pulled on some drivers here tonight being absolutely impeccable, and he's definitely going to be the favourite after tonight to get the championship. And we do see someone in the pits, I think, but there goes Lut on Clone. You can see the pace difference, I think, between Lut. Oh my goodness, that was a nasty shunt between Clone there. I wonder if that was on his own now, I'm not sure, but that's Clone out the race. And unfortunately, that was an example of a commentator's curse. So I do apologise for Clone. I did say he was going to do well, and he binned it. So Clone, if you're watching this back, I do apologise. So that promotes Lutz up into 5th. Well, I just still promote Lutz up into 5th place. And he's 1.5 seconds behind Otis. And he's got no penalties, so we could get a podium out of all this. So we could see after this race, Mercedes leading the Constructors' Championship. We thought it wasn't going to happen due to the strategies earlier on, but that late safety car definitely changed things quite a lot. And Alamonda put it a nice pun in the chat there about Clone's crash, and because he's from BDG as well, and he put, that was brutal. Ah, Mark, I gotta say, nice pun though, but yeah, that was a shame there from Clone. But you know, hopefully he can recover for the next race. But anyway, here comes Smasher. We got the 2 Red Bulls fighting. I think Smasher might have left Otis through, because obviously Otis on the fresher tyre. And obviously Otis has got a penalty, so Smasher all the way down to 4th place. And I think his tyres have probably had about, I think, cooked it right now. But I'm not sure. 26 laps have the hard tyres been on for Smasher, Felipe and Brown. So if Brown messes this up, this could be the battle for the win for either Otis, Lut or Lut. Lut has got no penalty, so it could be Lut. So, oh my goodness, a bit late on the brakes there into turn 13, but just about kept it on the track there. But let's see how Lut and Smasher do towards the final lap. We are potentially on the final lap. I think the battle for the race win could come down, actually, to the final lap. So we'll have to wait and see there. And we can see then Lut getting a better exit into turn 1 then. This could be podium territory for Lut. He can't take any risks here. He can't get involved in many instants. He's run out of airs as well. This is very dangerous for him. Smasher's run out. Smasher's got more airs than Lut, so he may have just done about enough to hold on to 4th place. But if he holds on to 4th place, that's a remarkable job. And same for Brown, holding on to the race victory. Even if Otis gets the race win on track, he will drop down to, I think, 4th. Because of penalties. So obviously we've got Smasher and Lutz with no penalties. So let's see, because Oates really needs to probably potentially get the move now. So I think he's going to get the lunge into the DRS zone. So here he goes. Let's see. I think Brown's going to give some defending. Both try and leave as much space as possible then. Could this be the chance where Oates possibly gains and try and get a bit of deficit so he can try and get on that podium? It may be too little too late for Oates, but Brown tries to cover off lefted as well. But Oates done all he can. He's going to win on track. But Brown wins the first race of XPGL Season 1. Absolutely amazing. Smasher stays in B2. So the hard runners just about hold on to the soft runners and made it to the end. And it was due to the dirty air too. So well done to Brown and Smasher. They could be an unpinnable force in the season to come. And who's got driver of the day in game? We'll have to wait and see. That is Otis, who came right down from 11th place all the way down into near the podium positions. And I'm surprised that Smasher and Brown did not get a puncher there, but yeah. So Brown gets his first win of the season, and in the history books as being the first winner of XBGL. He's going to remember this for a very long time. I've got to say, good battle between him and Smasher as well. And also the other soft runners, keeping it clean as well for some of them. And I think this won't be the last win we will see from LVA Brown. I think we'll see many more wins to come for the Mercedes driver. So here are your results then. Brown wins from Smasher in second. Flut in third. So 3 of the championship contenders who I predict to do well has done well. Otis in 4th. Lefted in 5th. Felipe and Cresito in 6th and 7th. Dave Wombus getting a good finish for Renault in 8th. Placky doing well in 9th. And Hawk in 10th. And we've got Joker in 11th. Got to go fast in 12th. Nico 13th. Dominic in 14th. And your non-finishers are Clone, Thibaut, Peroni, Abudullah, Sparks, and Sam. And yes, I've got to agree with Mark. That is definitely a good honour for that. And I think OT is pretty proud with his performance despite him getting a penalty. So, yeah. So, I've got to say, I think we're in for a very exciting season. For season 1 of XBGL, but in the title is season 27. So, yeah, I wonder if we can get these drivers in for interviews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Discord open on my device, on my computer. And we're going to see. Now, I haven't actually told the drivers about this, so you're probably going to hear me typing absolutely frantically. So hold on a second. And the chat is quite busy already. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, so I'm just going to say, would any of the top 3 want to go for an interview on Discord? So I'm going to see if anyone wants to go in. I'm going to jump in the comms box. So I'm going to jump in the comms box. There we go. So we could get some interviews going, and then I can drag them in. I haven't actually tried this because I was scared to do it in PSGL F2. So, you know. Yeah, I agree, Connor. It was a fun race to commentate, actually. It was a good opening round, I think, for XBGL. The XBGL drivers have impressed. There was quite a few questionable incidents, I've got to say. But, you know, I think they've done a pretty good job. And Connor just went into the comms box very quickly there, but I don't think he was meant to do that. So, yeah, and I forgot to say where I need to go. So if you want to be interviewed, go in waiting room. I could try Xbox Party, but I haven't tried Xbox Party in like 6 months, I think. I'm not entirely sure, so just give me a moment. I'll just wait for a few seconds. But whilst we wait for the any of the drivers to go into the waiting room to possibly get interviewed, let's look at the calendar again. So next week, we go to Great Britain in Silverstone. I like this track to commentate. It has quite a lot of battles, actually. I would say Wellington Straight heading into Brooklyn. A key corner to watch out for. Woodcote as well. Cops as well. Maggots, Beckett's. Hanging straight into Stowe, potentially as well. And obviously into Turn 1 as well. Yes, that could be some corners, definitely, to watch out for. And after base what's happened tonight, it could be anyone's game. But I think Brown could be the favourite to possibly get the win in Silverstone, but Smasher could use tonight as motivation. He got P2 tonight, but I think he's not going to settle for anything more than a victory, I think, next week. So, looks like we're not going to get anybody in the rating room, which is a bit of a shame. I would have kind of liked to see that, but it's probably my fault for not telling the drivers before the race that I was going to do this. So, yeah. So, I'll give it a minute or so, and then if they don't join, then we'll wrap up the stream. Oh, it looks like someone is joining, actually. We got Smasher, actually, potentially joining the interview box. So, we'll wait for him for a second. Hopefully, he won't be too long, and I'd actually like to say thanks to him for hosting the lobby as well. As obviously Big C asked for volunteers for someone to host the lobby, and Smasher kindly volunteered, and there wasn't any problems at all with me in the lobby. So I've got to say that's a win there. So yeah, thanks Smasher for that. And there we go. He's in the waiting room. I want to see if we can get Brown and OT's in here as well, but I don't think they're in there. So one person is better than another at all. So we're going to drag it in. And he's on his phone though, so it's going to be interesting. So he's got his mic muted. So yes. So hopefully this works. Hopefully I can drag it in. If not, Big C will probably have to do it for me. Oh, it's working. It's working. Yeah, there we go. I dragged it somehow. This is the first time I've actually done this. So, Sam, P2 on your first ever racing. Actually, I need to actually unmute Discord. There we go. Your first ever racing Xbox GL, and you managed to come across on the line with a P2. But I was a bit worried at one point, and your hards weren't gonna make it to the end there. Tell us for your thought process. How do you think the race went for you? Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Sam, loud and clear.
So that helped me out, and then felt like I had better pace than Brown at the end, but unfortunately I got hit by left field. But yes, still 12 points.
I'm sorry. I think they couldn't hear you. I do apologise. I think it was for some reason my wave mic didn't work there. So unfortunately we'll have to do it again. I thought we weren't going to get technical difficulties in the stream, but yeah, your hards must have been difficult towards the end of that race. Tell me, how was it for you? I do apologise. You probably have to hear them again, but hopefully they can hear you now. So let us know in chat if they can, if you could hear us, Sam. But yeah, tell us how the race went for you. I'm so sorry, Sam.
No, it's fine. So yeah, qualifying wasn't ideal, but still top 3 start wasn't bad, and then obviously the safety car lap 1 changed the strategy a bit, but I knew I was going to pick because I had experience doing that strategy earlier on in the game. So I did that, and then yeah, really good pace on the hards, and then the second safety car came out, which without that, my tyres would have probably been okay, but it would have been touch and go. But I also brought the soft runners into it, so that wasn't ideal. But yeah, I felt I had better pace than Brown at the end, and unfortunately I got hit by lefty in the last few laps, which cost me any chance of winning. But still, it's P2, it's a long championship, and especially with the point system, it rewards consistency does this league, so you can keep on getting podiums every week. Then that's my game.
Yeah, definitely as well. And yeah, I was getting a bit worried for you, but luckily you got into the end there. So definitely one of our drivers of the day as well. So it's a 12 race season. Lots to look forward to. Any tracks that you would say you want to race the most out of the 12 that we've got? Well, we've got 11 now because obviously we raced in Australia. So which tracks are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I don't know the calendar off by heart, but I know that Britain next week, it wasn't a good game for me. It wasn't a good track for me last game, but this game I had WR on there a few weeks ago and pace was decent. So hopefully aiming for probably another podium there, and then Belgium after that always been a solid track for me. But then later on, Singapore is one of my favourite tracks in the game. It's not one of my quickest, but I love driving around Singapore, so yeah, that's one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. But then Japan, last race of the season, that's probably my weakest track in the game, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes, but hopefully we can be in a good position by then.
I think a lot of drivers, were saying to me, Japan I don't like, but some drivers like it, but I personally like it. But yeah, personal preference, of course. But right, so you are P2 in the championship now. Who would you say, after seeing your competitors now race, obviously there's some drivers not raced tonight and they'll be racing next week, who would you say will be your biggest rival in order to to take the championship, because obviously you had Lutt earlier on as well, and Brown obviously winning the race. Do you think those two would be in a competition? Because it seems to be between the two, you two, OTs and you as well. So who would you say would be your championship rival going into this season?
Yeah, well, obviously I feel like Brown and Lutt could run away with it, because we've been racing in top leagues for a long few years now, and I'll just try to stick with them as much as possible. But yeah, I feel like Brown's just got too much quality for this league, so I feel like he might run away with it. But obviously it's a long season, anything can happen, so I'll just try to stick in there and see what happens.
Yeah, and one final question I would like to say to you. Next week, Great Britain, do you think you're going to get one better this next week and secure that elusive victory, or are you just going to wait and see what happens?
Yeah, I'll just take no risk like today. The main thing is I get points on the board, which I've done today, and if it's a win next week, then it's a win. If it's a top 5, then I'll take a top 5 any day long. It's just getting consistent points at this stage in the season, and hopefully the wins will come later on.
Yeah, we've seen that in a few other leagues as well, and that's probably helped as well. So thank you very much, Sam, for joining us. Luckily, the guys will be able to hear you, so that was great. And that is it for, I think that's nobody else wanting to join unless my mind is deceiving me. Nope, that's my mind not deceiving me there. That is, it is better than having no interviewees at all. So hopefully we'll have more interviewees next week. So if you guys are watching and if you're from Xbox and want to be interviewed, let us know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the first ever round of XBGL Season 1 around Australia. Make sure you join us. Well, there's still more action to come, really, around Australia, because we had F11 and F10 for PSGL happened earlier on today. If you want to check those out, make sure you do it. They are on the PSGL YouTube channel, so make sure you check those out. And on Sunday, we have F7 and F8 leagues happening at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And then on Monday, we have F2, F3, F4 on at 7, and F1, F5, F6 on at 8 p.m. So more Australian Grand Prix action. I'm sure you would not want to miss it. And hopefully you could join us next week for the British Grand Prix. I've been JessGames95. Have a good evening. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.